Well, it's funny actually. I thought it was the time I left the Marines anyway. I thought it was quite tough, and actually, then I joined the police and I realised that would toughen you up. You know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night in a big town or city centre. You know, going from fight to fight to fight, you soon have a different perspective on life. I tell you, different from the core, not better or worse, just certainly different. But I've had like these three sort of main careers really. So I had the first element, 12 years. That's a lie, actually. I always exaggerate, Chris. It was 11 years, 11 months, and 9 days or something. So we'll say 12 years. 12 years in the Corps, about 18 years in the police. But I made a transition, started making the transition into sort of outdoor adventure and TV stuff, maybe 10 years into that. And then the last 8 years solidly been in TV. Yeah, so I went to, I became an LC about 2 years later. I went down to Poole, and actually it's brilliant because, we always say, don't we, join the Corps or whatever and see the world, but probably you don't necessarily see that much of the world. But as an LC, I got a deployment on Intrepid. And so actually we went to, like, I don't know, we did a Mediterranean tour, world tour, but just before that, when I came back from that, I went back to Poole, and then I went off to Northern Ireland, which was then called Snowy. And we did Carlingford Loch, and Loch Ney. So I did, in the end, a 9-month tour, actually. I did 6 months, got extended, volunteered to stay out there because it was just a great job. So in the end, did sort of back-to-back tours there. But, yeah, it was good, interesting. You can't just punch people in the face. That's a no. You have to have some rules, and then you can punch people in the face. So it's quite difficult to make that transition. And a load of lads, bootnecks, matlows, army lads, they went by the wayside. They just couldn't make that transition. Behaviour, and it's only just being careful what you say and knowing your audience, I think. But actually, it was great. I did 6 or 7 years frontline policing, and who wouldn't want to do that? Fast cars, going to fights, and really adrenalised all the time, and new challenges. It was great. Yeah, everything I'd done in the Corps, particularly as a PTI, and then the police, sort of gave me all these tools, which are going to be very useful in not so much TV, but the TV and the outdoors. And so, you're already there. You can work with helicopters, you can work with boats, you can do risk assessments, your first aid and medic stuff, which in the police is really high as well. And we had a cameraman actually never been in a helicopter, and we just had to do some GVs. So he's going to fly up and down and do some beauty shots, with the camera. So he sat with his legs down there over the side, and I've clipped him on, and so he can't go anywhere. He's got. He's strapped in, if you like, but his feet are hanging over the side, doors off. And of course, I'm just sitting next to him on my phone, just reading my emails. And I noticed as we start to bank the helicopter, he's leaning out the aircraft, his bum's off the ground, because he's going with the helicopter. He's getting sort of fixated on the ground, and he can't really go anywhere. He had about 3 inches of movement, but it was just funny to see. And he put the camera down, and he was like, "Oh, wow, that was really weird." So just by putting a hand on his shoulder, give him a bit more confidence, and he was fine. But you only need 1 or 2 rides in the helicopter, then it becomes normal. And we get shipped around so much. It's just a bus. It's just a taxi, isn't it? Yeah, no, I go cattle class all the time, which annoys me because some of the directors and producers and other people, they don't. Fine, and they maybe earn the right to be up front, earn a bit more money and all that sort of stuff. But it makes me laugh. They then get to location, and they, in their contracts, they've usually got a day off to recover from jet lag. And old wanker chops here, 7 o'clock in the morning, straight in the car, starting the recce process, and actually an hour later I could be tying knots and rigging abseils and tyrolines, and so it's one of my bugbears. But yeah, unfortunately I'm in the back in cattle class, which hasn't been too bad recently because there's no one in the back. So just before Christmas to Moab, I just stretched out across 5 chairs, because there was like 11 people flying to the States, but I'm sure we'll be back to normal now. He's a TV presenter. That's what he'll say first and foremost. That's what he does. He's bloody good at it. He's got his journey and what he's done over the last 20 or 30 years. And it's controversial. Anyone on TV, TV is cheated. TV, to get the pictures that you see, has to be to a degree cheated. It's not like we could go away like we did years and years ago and have 30 days filming for 2 shows. Now we have to do the same thing in 4 days. And so we can't go to a mega extreme environment, for instance, miles away from anywhere. It costs too much money, and we can't be filming the shit out of everything. And the whole of TV is the same. I worked with Gordon Ramsay last week on the show, and of course it is. You know, if it doesn't happen on TV in front of the camera, then it doesn't happen. And so people love him or loathe him, you know, as well. They do Middleton in a different way. What I would say about Bear is that he's bloody talented. He's good on the ground, you know, his movement and his fitness, and you know, he is one of the good guys. He's a truly nice guy. He's always trying to do the right thing. And if you just, you know, he's an honorary colonel in the Marines. I know he gets maybe a bit of grief for that, but actually, you know, he's doing it for the right reasons. He's doing it because his dad was in the Corps, and he wants to try and help the Corps with its recruitment, you know, and he's doing his bit. Same with the Scouts, you know, and he really is committed to those charities. The Scouts, the Corps, and I think Tusk is the other one he does at the moment with the Rhino. He puts a lot of time and effort into it. So, you know, he's one of the good guys, and, you know, yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. Our next guest speaker, he works for Barry Grillis. His name is Stephen Hefferford. That's me, you know. They always get it wrong, Bear's name, and my name as well. You know, it was all a bit sort of, wow, he's been the head of a snake and all this sort of stuff. And it was for entertainment and a few outrageous survival techniques, you know, which you could do, like drinking your own urine. You know, you'd never do that, but actually, you know, never ever drink your own urine. Bear's there drinking his own urine. If you then read Between a Rock and a Hard Place, when old Aaron Rollinson cut his own arm off, you know, he did drink his own urine doing that. And so that, you know, and if nothing else, it kept his morale going. Just wetted his lips, and no doubt it wasn't doing him very much good, but, you know, he survived, and for whatever reason. So, yeah, I think you're right. Bear, I know he's still like that to a degree. We've got lots of new programs. They're doing this You versus Wild, which is interactive, and that has really taken the world by storm, actually. You know, should Bear jump off a waterfall, or shall we, you know, abseil down the waterfall? And they're both got their pros and cons. Hey, you decide.